You know, we're seeing markets really kind of yawning at these latest trade headlines. Do you think this is the rational response, or are we still seeing some complacency?
Probably not complacency. I think a lot of this was factored in, which is a slightly sitting on a fence sort of response. But ultimately, we were expecting some sort of trade tariffs. And if anything, they probably came at the bottom of expectations. So there's nothing here that's adversely shocked the markets anyway.
We look at what's happening in the US. They seem to be far more sanguine about this than what's going on here. It's really here where people are perhaps baking it all in. But why not in New York?
Look, I think this is an issue that first and foremost has its roots in Asia, because there's a attacker and a defender here as such, and the attacker is the US here insofar as global trading organizations and trading arrangements. It's China that's on the back foot. So, and it's Asia that's on the back foot, because this is where you get adversely hit in terms of the trade dynamics, for example. So I think it's natural that I think Asia is the one that you'd expect to bear the brunt, and we've seen that in terms of the currency reactions in terms of the region. New York here probably feels a little bit as if, okay, this is the first innings, probably a bit more to come again. Let's see what the Chinese come back with. So really, we're expecting some sort of response from the Chinese here. The ball is in Asia's court in that respect now.
Do you think the market, though, is acknowledging now that perhaps this is going to be a much longer, drawn-out process than we first expected? Or, you know, once we hit midterms, do you think this could all actually fizzle out?
Well, the promise yesterday to push this into 2019 actually suggests not. So I think initially we were looking at this as being, okay, he's playing politics here. He's playing to his base. He's looking towards the winnable tweets, pre-midterms. But now the fact that he's spoken about retaliation, the fact that he's spoken about 2019 as a potential lift-up, again in terms of tweets, actually suggests this is pretty much a longer game. Probably is, actually, because ultimately, come 2019, you'll be thinking about re-election in 2020 as well. So it's probably a long game, this one. Jack Ma is probably correct in this one, actually.
That's going to
last 20 years. I'm not sure 20 years, but it's a long game by the looks of it. And of course, this feeds into what China is trying to achieve. Now, we know that the Made in 2025 has played a big role in the headlines recently. But I think this is a longer game in terms of trying to understand global trading arrangements. And Trump is not just going to suddenly turn around at the end of the midterms and say, OK, that's it. That's not his style. I think this is just going to continue.